Okay, it seems like we have a good number of people that's already on the call right now, so let's just go ahead and start. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our webinar. Today, we're showing what's new in Revu 2016 and showing off the new features that makes this our best release yet. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them in the questions window, and we'll do our best to answer them. If we don't get to your question during the webinar, we'll be sure to follow up and provide an answer for you after the call. As a heads up, we will be recording this webinar and sending a link to all the attendees on this call. Just real quickly on Advanced Spatial Technologies, or AST for short, AST is an award-winning company based in Australia with over 20 years service for solutions. With certified staff, it is AST's pursuit to provide outstanding customer service, technical support, and recommendations to customers. AST also provides customized Bluebeam training. And as for me, my name is Brian, and we'll be for this webinar today. Okay, so I am really excited to show off all the great new features to everyone. But first, I wanted to tell you a little bit about Bluebeam software, key features, and licensing. Okay. Bluebeam software is not your typical software company. We push the limits of the world's most document-intensive industries by creating intuitive PDF-based digital markup and collaboration solutions. Our approach to development is actually really simple. We pick our customers' brains, engage in ongoing conversations with them, and walk through their projects to understand their workflows. Our solutions evolve as our customers' needs do. The idea is to keep our fingers on the pulse of what's happening in the AEC industry and constantly push the limits of what's possible. Revu streamlines processes throughout the entire project lifecycle. By viewing, editing, and sharing documents quickly, you can keep projects moving forward with less idle time spent waiting around. With powerful PDF creation, markup, and collaboration tools, customers are able to accelerate at all stages of project, from design review all the way to closeout and facilities management. Okay, everyone, it's time for the moment we've been all waiting for, the new features in Revu 2016. Let's just go through the features listed on this slide. The first one is Batch Markup Summary. Batch Markup Summary provides answer towards Revu's reporting workflow. Version, use of Markup Summary in Revu to export data was only possible by one active PDF at a time. So if the PDF contained multiple pages, the process of report creation had to be repeated one at a time. Batch Summary solves this problem by allowing users to export markup data from any number of files, potentially across multiple locations, to easily create reports or further manipulate data with a single set of simple interactions. It's definitely the biggest time saver out of all the new Revu 2016 features. The next one is the Legends. Okay? Legends can help anyone looking at the PDF to have an immediate understanding of the markups on the page that is similar to the legends commonly found on maps. As markups are added or removed from the page, quantities for matching markups in the markup legends are automatically updated. Additional markup list columns can be added to provide increasingly more detail to the markup legend and more. The third one is the Revit enhancement. The plugin into Autodesk Revit has been overhauled to improve performance and add new functionality. The improvements pertain to both 2D and 3D PDF creation. We will cover more on the detail of the enhancements for this portion later in the webinar. The next one is Document Management Tool Enhancements. The document management tools your customers or you have been buying Revu for have gotten even better. Batch links, batch slip sheets, AutoMarks have all gotten upgrades this year, and we will be showing off some of them during this webinar. Tags. Tags provide a quick way to navigate, sort, and filter individual sheets for any number of PDFs within a set. Based on the feedback we have been receiving from our customers, the sets usage is increasing. The good news is our users love sets so much they can't stop asking for it in a mobile solution. And as a result, what they want to see improve is the speed with which users can navigate a large set. This new feature addresses this issue. The last one, the general enhancements. Although we say general, the truth is that there's nothing general about it because it's with so much more enhancement built into Revu 2016. In fact, it'll be extremely challenging to list them all and demonstrate everything during this webinar. So we'll mention some of them during this webinar, and then just refer you to the website that you can go and actually look further of it. Okay, so let's not forget the core value proposition mentioned in this slide, which makes Revu the ideal solution in handling your daily workflow. The first 3 bullet points, save time, save money, and go paperless, are still the main reason why you or the customers in general of ours continue to purchase Revu, and will continue to do so with the new additional features in Revu 2016 in helping them speed up the work process along with. It is also important for us to remind you of the 5 key features of Revu, as it is because of these core features why majority of our customers are still buying Revu as well. The first one, intuitive interface. Interface is very easy to navigate. Markups are easily accessible and is simple to use on an application. For AEC customers particularly, some of the markups are specifically tailored for AEC customers, making it even easier for them to do. Our innovative tool chest will eliminate redundant work and support standardization within customers' organization. Advanced markup tracking. Revu automatically collects and logs all the data from the markups to be applied for different working tasks. And real-time collaboration, for enabling multiple people to collaborate on a single document with a feature called Studio. And that is a feature which comes free with every copy of Revu. Now we are all ready to move into the new feature demos. Let's start off with the first 2, batch markup summary and the legends. Okay. So now the first one is batch markup summary. In a nutshell, batch markup summary now eliminates the need to create summary reports for each active PDF drawing. So if the customer had 100 PDF sheets, for example, the old way was to create a summary report 100 times manually. With batch markup summary, the total summary can be created in a single process. So let me just show you an example in the old way, okay? So, you see here. Okay, so let me just show you an example here. Let me see here. Okay. A little glitch here. Let me just hold on 1 second here. Okay, there we go. And we're going to go and look at the batch markup. Okay. And I'm just going to look at this one, for example, here. So we have this document here with several markups over here. So if you wanted to create a PDF summary in the old way, you would just actually pull it up right here and go to the summary from the markup summary on the bottom here, and come over here to a report, and you have a choice of creating a CSV, XML, and into a PDF summary. So the way you would do it in the old way is to come here and create a summary, just collect all the append to PDF, you can make a hyperlink off of it and all that, and set it all up. This is all great, it does its job. One problem is that if you, once again, in that example I mentioned earlier, if you had 100 sheets of these, you have to do this 100 times to get all the reports out of it, all this information here out on a report. So once again, it does the job, but it's not as intuitive as how we want it to be and how we promote our product. That's why we have this new feature called batch markup summary. So in the new way, this is how it's going to work. Okay, so go to File, to Batch, which is over here, and you have this new command called Summary right here, new option. So click on that, and I'm going to add. Okay, I'm going to add files. So I'm just going to go ahead and add files here. Go to Batch. I'm going to add all of this and open it. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and click Next. It gives you all these options on the columns that you can select. From here, I can leave everything here, but for the sake of this demo, I'm just going to choose Subject, Page, Status, Author, Date, there you go, Comments, and finally the responsibility. And once I have this all selected, I'm going to select Next. Okay. Then you have this next dialog box that's showing up. Each of these, you can actually filter them on each of these as well. So for the sake of it, I won't touch anything here. I just wanted to show you that this is also something that you can filter from here. And moving to the sort section, I'm going to choose the first one as responsibility and second one as status. I can go ahead and choose third and fourth, on and on and on. It keeps giving you options until your column options expire. I'm just going to leave it at that for this demo and click. I want to export this as a PDF. Although I have all these options, I want to keep it this way. Okay, and since this is going to be a task list, I can change this to label this as task list. Yep. Okay, task list. Okay. And now you have a feature of importing a template. So I'm just going to go ahead and import one. I have a template here, and select this, and it will highlight and show you where the data will be pasted on or saved on. I don't want to overlap with the background picture here, so I'm just going to adjust it to make it look nicer, to make sure the data will fit in the area that I want, and click OK. Okay, I've done this several times, so it's already saved there, so that's fine there too. Okay, then I want to make sure that that insert page break. I'm just going to go ahead and do this too. So if I do it by responsibility, I have the status and responsibility as an option. By having it as responsibility, I'll have a page break. So each person that has a responsibility would have a sheet of it. So you'll be assigned to each sheet of it. Will look nice and clean that way. So I'm gonna select that as an option there. Okay. Okay, so then I'm going to include hyperlinks. I want to make sure that there's going to be a hyperlink to it, so it'll be linked to the actual drawings. And finally, at the bottom, you'll see two options: Save Batch and Save Configuration. Save Batch. This option saves the document composed, so it's a big time saver for a company who wants to run a report on the same set of documents. Save Config, on the other hand, saves all the settings. So with this option, just one of them needs to set up this summary. One of them, as in one person in the company, can be a project manager, can be an administrator, what have you. Just that one person needs to set up this summary, and everybody creates the same style of batch summary. So in summary, the save batch, this is pretty much will create the same PDF each time, whereas the same config, it pretty much saves and pretty much produce a report with same settings each time. Okay, I'm going to and Review will calculate and create a report off of this. Okay. And you can see the report being created here. It's nice. It's page break by individual. This one is for D. Sanchez, and there's 3, and it's all page broken there. And as you can see, it has a little small drawing, as usual, like on the regular reports that you're familiar with. It has all the drawings, and when you click on it, it'll link to the drawing itself there. So again, it's a big time saver. It's the biggest time saver of all the options or all the new features in Review 2016. It's a great feature there. So that is the batch markup summary. Okay. The next one will be the legends. So let's just move on to the legends. Okay. In a takeoff workflow or punch workflow. Typically, it's either used in both of them. Punch workflow is more common to be used for legends that we see it, but then we will just look at both of them as well. So the takeoff workflow, okay? So how it works on this one, I'm just going to go ahead and have the properties open here, okay? In this case, I mean, we'll be creating a legend, okay, from a drawing that already have markups on it, which in this case will be the takeoffs. So on the drawing, you will see many color-coded markups with, you know, like carpet as green and all that kind of stuff. Let me just go ahead and open one for you. Then you'll see it actually rather than me talking about it. So go ahead and open one. Okay, this is not the right one. Sorry about that. I'm just going to go ahead and open another one. 120. That one. Yeah, that one's better. So I have something like this that's open right here. You know what? This is actually not good. Let me just open another one. This one does not look good. Okay, so let me just open one more. I know why. Okay, so right here, this is the one I was looking for. There you go. Right here, and as you can see, and let me just enlarge it so you'll easily see here. There's already markups and drawings, and you can see this is a flooring document with several information that's already listed here. You can see that it's all flooring materials. You can see right here that this one, the yellows represent wood flooring, the blue one's representing concrete, the green one is representing carpet, and what have you. So you have this nice drawing, and of course all the markup list is all popular information. But before going in there and looking at all the measurements that's already been taken out, you want to have a quick view of what the overall picture looks like in terms of measurements and all that. And that's when the legend will come in. Okay, so let me just go ahead and show you how that works. I'm just going to go ahead and select a good chunk of on the drawings. I see it, grab it right there, and I'm going to right-click it. Right-click it, you'll see an option called Legends right here. And on the legend, I'm going to go ahead and create a new legend. Okay? So I'm just going to go ahead and click on Create New Legend. And as soon as I click on that, you'll see that it's already generated right here. I'm going to make it larger so you can see it better. You can see immediately it has all that information that's already added there. Okay? I'm going to go ahead and go to property on this one, make it look better. I mean, the information is that I'm going to make it look better here. Well, first off, let me just go ahead and rename this as flooring measurements. This suits its needs right here. Okay, measurements. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and edit columns. Click here. I can add more columns this way right here, and I'm going to check on materials. Right here, okay? And that's going to add the materials here because I want to see it on my legends right here, okay? And I'm going to go ahead and fill the color. So right now it's overlapping with the background, and I want that removed. So I'm just going to go ahead and fill it with white to not cover the back right here. And I'm going to change the color to black, and outline, I'm going to change that to grid lines. So I have a nice list of nice looking legends showing right here. Okay, so this is how the legend is being created. But then if I wanted to create a new legend in this way, I have to go through that whole process again to make it look like this. I mean, change the color, put the grid line and all that. And I don't want to do that every time. So I'm going to set that as a default. So every time I create a legend, it's going to come out in that format. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Okay. Great. So now you can see that this legend, I'm just going to leave it like this because it's, I know it's overlapping from the back, but then for the sake of it, I'm just going to leave it like this. This is a dynamic list or summary. In other words, what I'm saying is that basically it's pulling out the data from the actual drawing, but then it changes its figures or its numbers or its statuses as the markups on the drawing are changed. So let's just take it as an example. I'm going to go ahead and take a copy of this. I'm going to paste it, copy V. And you'll notice, over here the number has changed. I'm going to go ahead and delete it. If you pay attention to this portion right here, you will notice that as I delete this, the numbers change. So it's dynamic. So as the markups are being updated on the drawing, this legend will get updated as well. So, in the real life, when everything is done, you can just go ahead and park it right here outside of it where it's visible, but then it's not overlapping with the document itself. So that's one way to use the legend in a takeoff workflow. The second way is typically used on a punch workflow. So basically creating a legend on a punch workflow. The way it works is that you will start working where there is no markup on the document yet, and you just, as the markups are being added, then the legend gets updated. So the way it works on this one is this. First, before I go to this, I'm going to go ahead and switch my profile. Because I'm doing a punch workflow, I'm going to change my profile to punch. Okay? And I have all my tools over here too, that way. Okay? So now, from here, I'm going to create a legend. So in this properties right here, okay, you will see. Okay? So I'll go ahead and go to tool chest. I'm going to go here. Oh, I'm going to use this punch key cleaning here. Easier, so I'm going to change the view here to make it detailed here, just to make it easier for everybody to see. And from here, legend, you can create a legend from here. I'm going to go ahead and create a new legend. Okay? And as it's created, you can already see that it's being created right here already, right here. Now, here I'm going to go ahead and go to edit columns, because in the punch workflow, material doesn't really make sense. I mean, it makes more sense using a status instead. So I'm going to add a status here, and I'm going to remove the material. I'm going to replace it with a status. With status actually will be the most popular feature or the options that you can choose on a punch workflow. I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'm just going to go ahead and start adding some of these, the punch keys right here. And as you can see, as I'm adding this, you'll see that the legends are getting updated. Okay, right here. I'm just going to keep on adding this. And just for the sake of it, what happens if I add something else from this punch key electrical? I add this, okay? You'll notice that I'm adding this and it's not changing anything on the list. That is because I'm creating a legend off of the punch key cleaning, so it doesn't make any impact if I added a punch key from somewhere else. So that's how it works here. Then I'm going to go and look at all the punch keys that I've entered, okay? And I'm going to add a status to it. So this one I'm going to accept, this one I'm going to reject, this one I'm going to cancel. And as I do this, you will see that that's already being updated right here. So in this case, which is a very common way to use the legend, is that as the punch keys or the markups are being added, then it progressively updates the legends. So that's another way to use it. Okay. So that pretty much covers the legends. Okay. Let's go ahead and clean up here. Go back to the slides. Okay. And the next one. The third one will be the Revit plugin enhancements. Once again, the plugin into Autodesk Revit has been overhauled to improve performance and add new functionality. The improvements pertain to both 2D and 3D creation. So let's look at each one of them here. So first one, more accurate transfer of section boxes and linked model information. If the customer uses section boxes in Revit and linked in Revit, that information contained will now carry over or convert over more accurately onto a PDF. Okay? Better representation of material colors. So this one, material colors on a 3D PDF are more vibrant and better representation of the colors coming out of Revit. The third one is Revit Rooms to Spaces. This new feature revolutionizes how review spaces are created on a 2D drawing. Spaces can now be created automatically when Revit rooms are present in the Revit file. This ultimately saves everyone time, especially when running takeoffs and punch backcheck process, by no longer having to define each space manually on the PDF after it has been created. For the webinar, let's just go over the Revit Room to Space and see how that is going to work. Okay. So unfortunately, or as many of you may know, we don't have Revit actually installed, the Revit program installed on our software. So I'm just going to show it to you in a quick video to just give you an idea of how that works. Okay. Let's go ahead and run the video here. Let me see here. Okay, there you have it. So, So this is actually inside the Revit model itself, Revit program itself, and you have a Bluebeam plugin, as you can see right there, and you open the dialog box, and now you have a new box that says Export Room to Spaces. And on the bottom there also, you have another option called Export Rooms to Area Measurements as well, and that's another new option too, but then we're just going to look at Export Room to Spaces for this demo. So click on that option, right, once to the Export Room to Spaces, and click OK. So once you do that, then, select that and then go ahead and create a PDF. It will convert and open a PDF version of it in Revit. And if you look at the spaces, you'll see that that actually they're all the rooms that define as rooms in Revit now carries over to become spaces in Revu. So this way, before, you have to actually manually create each spaces at a time to define it, to copy it over from Revit. But now that process is eliminated and it just basically carried over. So it's a much quicker process and easier done that way. Okay. So now the next one. Okay. So that's the Revit plugin enhancements. And the next one will be the document management tool enhancements. Okay. In today's demo, we will show you how AutoMark can now be captured and recognized on a vertical text. That's the first one. And the second one, in the batch link, where the highlights do not appear in markups. And then on the third and the last one, the batch slip sheets now shows matched and unmatched pages. So we'll just go over those three of those new features. So the first one, I'm going to go ahead and open another file. Okay. Tags. Okay. Originals. I'm just going to go ahead and choose one. Okay, so I have this document here. And as you can see on the very bottom, okay, you'll see that there's a marking here in a vertical format. So this, now what you can do with Revu is that from here, I can actually go to do a page region, AutoMark, and I'm going to select this. Go ahead and select this and cover it up, and you will see that it actually reads it the way it is. So what it is that although it might look like something small, before when there was a vertical writing and you wanted to define that or as an AutoMark or set as a region, Revu will just basically come back with a blank that says, I don't see anything there. It wasn't able to read the vertical letters, but now it can actually read it and recognize it. So that's one enhancement that we've implemented. It's very quick. Okay. The second one is the batch link, okay, the hyperlinks. Will no longer appear in the markup list. So let's just see how that works. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and choose another one here again. I'm going to open one here, and I have set types drawing. I'm going to go to original again, and I'm going to choose from the structural folder. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and start a new batch link. So I'm just going to go ahead to go to File. I'm going to go to Batch, and I'm going to create a new link. Okay. So from here, I'm going to add a folder. Okay. So add folders, and I'm just going to go here, originals, and I'm going to add the entire structural folder. And select folder. I'm going to add everything there, and I'm going to go to next. Okay. And I'm going to select a page region. So from here, I'm going to choose this right here, the section right here. I'm just creating a batch link. Well, let me make sure I got it right. Let's go ahead and create it again. New folder here. Originals, structural. I don't think I grabbed it correctly, so that's why I'm just doing it again. Make sure it's correctly selected. Okay. Yep, it's correctly selected. So okay it here. And from here, I'm going to go to link options right here. And I want to make sure that this includes the appearance properties right here. I just want to go ahead and click that, and I'm going to choose that as fill, and I'm going to click OK. And once I have this, I'm going to go ahead and select generate. Okay, go ahead and generate. It's going to create all the links, and I'm going to go ahead and run it. Okay. and it created 28 hyperlinks and 24 were deleted. So let me just go ahead and finish and close that. You'll notice that all the hyperlinks are created. But then if I go and look at the markup list, you'll see that the hyperlinks are there. It's highlighted in yellow. But then there's nothing showing the markup list. So before, all the hyperlinks were all listed on the markup list, and we received a lot of complaints actually from the customer saying it's not necessary, it's just cluttering up the markup list. So we just go ahead and made an option to not show that at all. Just to click on this, just to show you the hyperlinks are working. So once again, the hyperlinks are there, but then it does not show up on the markup list. The third and the last one is the batch slip sheet. That actually now shows matched and unmatched pages. So I'm just going to go ahead and create these up, okay? And I'm going to show you the batch. I'm just going to go ahead and create a batch slip sheeting. So let's go ahead and create that slip sheeting. I'm going to add files. I'm going to go to the batch, okay? Batch slip sheet, batch files, slip sheet. Choose the originals. To open all this and add it here, and I'm going to add files here and slip sheeting revisions. Going to add all this here, and I'm just going to create a slip sheet right here. Go ahead and do a match. And just real quickly here, you'll see that all the match pages are showing here. Now we have a new tab here that shows the unmatched pages. So in this example or in this demo, I wasn't able to find any unmatched one. It just ended up matching everything. So it doesn't show anything here. But if the review identified any of the unmatches, it will be all listed here along with the match pages. So that's how the enhancement in this case works. Okay? So that is pretty much the document management tool enhancements. Okay, so now moving on, the next one will be the tags and drawing logs. Okay, so sets being used by project engineers and project managers and others to quickly and easily organize their project files and then create drawing logs for the team to reference to find the file they need. That's how the sets are being used, okay? But then the sets have historically been on the cumbersome side, unfortunately, in a way that drawings are organized. So when the project managers gets the documents from engineers or subcontractors and other project members, right? I mean, parties that are involved in the project, when it's time to be necessary to be adding those documents to the drawing, then it's typically inconsistent in terms of naming conventions and revision formats and all that. So at the end of the day, it's going to fall all on the project manager to revise all that manually to make it consistent in terms of the naming conventions and the format. The project manager has to recreate that, creating him a lot of work and making it less intuitive. So rather than having the project managers to make those updates or revisions manually, this tags and drawing log feature will give ability to use AutoMark usage on the sets. So that's the whole concept behind this tags and drawing logs. So the advantage with this feature will be the following. So the first one will be to make the life of the project managers easier, easier with the tags and drawing logs. The second would be that everyone can have the same drawing logs to make sure that they all have the same files and working with the most up-to-date version, as well as having the ability to get quick and easy access to the files, regardless of how the files are delivered to them. Okay, so let's just go ahead and with that concept show you how that works. Okay, once again, the tag starts from the sets. So we need to create a new set here. Okay, let me just go ahead and show you view. I'm going to show the sets, and I'm going to create a new set. Okay, and I'm going to add the files, and I'm going to go to set tags. Okay, right here. Go right here, and I'm going to choose from here. I'm going to choose architectural in this case. This is the demo, so I'm just choosing architectural for the sake of it, but then please keep in mind that in the real world, the project managers will be dealing with all the rest of the folders and many more in the real world. I'm going to go ahead and add this and open it. Yep, cancel it. Oh, I thought I added the files. I added a folder, but I'm going to add the files there. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it again. Stack documents, originals, architectural. I'm going to add everything here and open it. So I added everything there, and I'm going to click OK. It's going to add it here, okay? And it's going to ask me for the page region to be to contain the sheet name. Let me just go ahead and look at this one. Select a sheet name. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and select here. Okay. And it's going to create this example. I mean, I guess I chose the wrong one, but then it's going to actually go through this and actually ask for every single option. So for right now, I asked for a page. Let me see if I can do it again with a better example here. I didn't have a good example here, so that's why it's not working well. But then what it's supposed to do is that it's supposed to go through and ask you for all the information, like ask for the name here, you know, the page region selection, the general notes, and all that type of stuff, the dates, and it should give you all that information. Let me see if I can do this one more time, and then see if I can show you that what I'm trying to do here. I'm just going to go ahead and create a new one, and I'm going to create a new set and OK it. Let me just try to create another one here. And let me just try to see if I can choose something else then. Let me just try to choose civil for the sake of it and see if that makes a difference. Okay, good. So now I'm going to ask me for a sheet number. Just trying to give you a better example here. I'm going to choose the sheet number here. It's registered. I'm going to say OK. Once I do this, once again, this is not actually doing me well right now, unfortunately, in this demo. But it should guide me through and ask me for more information in terms of you know, the sheet name, the company name, and all that, customer name, or who's created, the dates. That's all showing here. It's going to walk you through all that, and once you select everything in terms of like in a page region or AutoMark, it's going to create this chart here. And the great news, once it captured all the information on all these documents, this is also editable. So actually, if you see anything that you don't like in here, you can actually select them and manually change it over here in this tag here. Okay. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to click OK. And it's actually going to create the whole set right here. Once I actually create this, all these documents here, I can go ahead and export that out. Okay. Up right here, publish it out. And I'm going to export it out to a drawing log. I have all the options here. You can actually pick and choose here. I'm just going to leave everything for this demo and go to next. Okay, when I export this out, I want to make sure I leave this as an Excel. I have an option to do a PDF or Excel, but in this case, I want to leave it as an Excel. And I want to make sure that the hyperlinks are actually, the create hyperlink portion, the option is clicked here. Okay, I also want to have a date to this title. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this as this right here, as it's showing right here. I can also change the title here if I wanted to, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave it the way it is right now. Okay, and I'm going to choose done when I have all those selections done. Review will calculate and create this drawing log as you see right here. All the hyperlinks are still there. It's all working. Okay, it connects to the drawing like you see right here. So it actually all works here in terms of the hyperlinks. And once you export it out to the Excel, you can obviously, because this is an Excel file, the user, the project manager, typically in this case, has the ability to just utilize the Excel functionalities. You can sort, you can filter, you know, change columns and rows and what kind of stuff. So it's all something that the project manager can manipulate and use in their convenience. But once again, this is, so hyperlink is working. All the information is there, and with this drawing log, everybody that's involved in the project are looking at the same thing and is up to date on all the documents that they'll be using. Very powerful tool here. Okay, so that is the tags and the drawing logs. Okay, and there's other features, what we call general enhancements, but there's so much more. There's a lot more enhancement that's been added there. As you can see, some of them here, some of the OCR enhancements, some of the markup alignments, bookmarks can be exported and what have you. So more than this, there are so many of them, as I mentioned to you earlier, that this is only like a real glimpse of it. Very few of them are listed. So we truly encourage you to go visit our partner site at partnersbluebeam.com, as you can see there on the screen, to see the full list and to learn more about each of these specific enhancements. Okay? And that's pretty much it for today. Thank you very much for attending today's webinar. Please feel free to send over additional questions to Advanced Spatial after this webinar, as we will be sure to follow up with you on all questions received, including the ones received during this webinar. So it seems like I have a couple more minutes left here. Let me just leave it for about maybe 5 minutes more or so to see if we can collect all the rest of the questions that you may have. And we'll answer them as we go. And once again, as I mentioned, if we can't answer all of them, we have it captured. It's all recorded. So we'll sure to be able to get back to you after this webinar. So let's just give it about 5 more minutes. So please feel free to just continue entering all your questions that you have.